Hey, book nerds, it's Dan, and good morning. Well, good morning for me, anyways. I have to film this early in the morning. The family went grocery shopping, so yeah, and I advised them, I even gave them gloves to wear when going out there. But if you happen to miss it, or you're new, please check out a few videos back. I uploaded a video, a Q&A, a call for Q&A. I think I called it something like, I reached 600 subscribers, now ask me something, or something like that. So I have a Q&A up, and I would love it if you guys could ask me book-related questions, or any other questions about me, about moi. I have a super majority of people asking me comic book questions. I kind of want to even it out because I'm not just a comic book review channel. I also read regular books. And that's why we're here right now. So let's get on with it. I want to share with you guys the books I picked up in March. I'm going to start off with this one. This one came in the mail the other day or so. It's by Phil Williams. It's under Ordshaw. I got... someone on Twitter had reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to be a part of a book tour. I had never heard of a book tour. I had to look it up to figure out what it was exactly. And this is a sci-fi, it's an SSF, I guess, book. It says on the back, "Welcome to Ordshaw, Don't Look Down." And it's about this lady named Pax, who she never knew the dark side of Ordshaw. She's a poker pro who hustles bankers and gangsters. And she is about to discover the shadows that hide something far worse than criminals. A thief steals her bankroll, and she follows him into a labyrinthine mystery. People have disappeared simply for realizing what's lurking under Ordshaw. To get her life back, Pax needs to go much further than that. And I guess this is a part of a whole series, because it's showing that there's 3 more books along with it. This sounded very interesting. It's got like a dinosaur thing on the cover. I'm going to be reading and reviewing this. There's a certain day that I'm supposed to upload my review, because that's a part of being a part of the blog book tour or whatnot. And I suggested to them a number of YouTubers I thought would be a great match for this, but I guess they only picked me for some reason. I don't totally agree with that. I thought that they should have picked more YouTubers, but they picked more Instagrammers, and I'm the only YouTuber for some reason. I don't know why that is. Doesn't make any sense, because, you know, I think YouTube is a much better medium for books than Instagram, but whatever. I also picked up, free from the library, another Harry Turtletove. This one is about the Roman Empire, except it's Gunpowder Empire, so that could be interesting. Like I always say, I love alternative history, and I've only read one Harry Turtledove so far. But yes, I'm obsessed with the idea. Yes, I know I'm a book hoarder. I picked up another Harry Turtledove. This one is Settling Accounts, Drive to the East. I think this one's about one of the Great Wars, either the first or second. But you know, it's alternative history, and his books are always massively huge. Like, they're always, like, super big. I've got to definitely reorganize my shelves. Okay, now, I went to this secondhand bookstore in Syracuse. They're pretty well known. They've been there for years and years and years. And I was hoping, because like I always say, it's so hard to find horror in my area. I don't know if it's because the Syracuse, Central New York area, I think, might be ultra-conservative, and maybe that's why it's so hard to find horror. Or maybe if people get horror books, they just tend to keep them, and they don't, like, resell them, but I didn't have any luck, because I've heard a few other people say the same thing, that when you go to check out a horror section, all it is Dean Koontz and Stephen King, and Anne Rice, and it's just a bit disappointing. So I decided to browse the rest of the bookstore. I figured, I had wasted my time going there. I might as well pick up at least something. So I went, and I've read a lot of Kurt Vonnegut. I've read The Slaughterhouse-Five. I've read Cat's Cradle. I've read God Bless You, Mr. Rosewater, and a bunch of short story collections by him. And my favorite by him is Breakfast of Champions. If you have not read that, go out and get it, because that is my absolute fave book by him. I used to have a friend in high school who used to recommend me books all the time, and he always had some good selection of books he'd recommend to me. I absolutely loved Breakfast of Champions because I would love how the author would include little doodles, like little drawings, and I remember when he was talking about beavers as sexual innuendo, but yeah, he'd draw a little picture of a animal beaver. I thought that was kind of cute and funny. But this one, I guess in the book community, is always mentioned. People are always raving about this book. And to be quite honest with you, it was totally off my radar because I didn't even know this book existed. And because everybody in the book community is always like, oh my god, this is Vonnegut's best book, you need to read it. So I decided to pick it up. The Sirens of Titan. Like I said, I've never heard of this before. And I'm going to check it out. Will I like it? I don't know. I might and I might not. I have enjoyed everything I've read by Vonnegut. I think Vonnegut is one of the writers. He's one of my top 10 writers that I enjoy, definitely. Also, at a secondhand shop, I found this, Vox, by Christina Dulcher. A couple people have compared this to Handmaid's Tale. And sadly, I have not read The Handmaid's Tale, at least the novel. I've read the graphic novelization of The Handmaid's Tale. But I've heard mixed reviews on this book. Something about women being limited how much they can talk, and it really sounds like a silly kind of premise if you ask me, because, like, could you really enforce something like that? And it sounds kind of dumb, like, oh, we think women talk too much, so let's make it a law that they can only say so many. This sounds like a silly plot, but, I've heard, like I said, I've heard different things about this. I've heard some people say it was really good, some people said it wasn't that great. So I'm willing to check it out at some point. Like I said, I tend to pick up books, and I know I'm picking up so many books that I don't know if I'm going to be able to read these all in my lifetime, but they're here. If I have the option, I want to read them. I also picked this up. I think I found this at the library for free, but it's Ragtime, and I remember being a kid and my father watching this movie, Ragtime. It takes place in the early 1900s, kind of like the whole jazz clubs and all that, and, the first cars built by Ford. Seemed like a really interesting movie, and I thought maybe the book will be fun, too. And it looks like this used to be, like, sold in a college bookstore for a class, so it might have some historical value to it. That's another reason why I thought I'd pick it up and read it, because I like reading about the past and things that I'm just, not aware of. And for those of you who are my comic book peeps, I picked up only one comic this month, and it was Animal Man Splinter Species. This is volume 4. New 52 Animal Man. I really enjoyed the New 52 Animal Man. They did a storyline in the first few volumes of Animal Man where it was the red and Swamp Thing was the green, and the two stories kind of intertwined. They kind of crossed over a little bit, and I found that super interesting. I had never really read Animal Man before that. I only got into it because, like I said, I really, really like Swamp Thing, and I really enjoyed the crossover portion of the story, so I started reading Animal Man, really enjoyed it. So that's why I was like, when I saw this, I was like, dude, I gotta get Animal Man. Even though I've tried to read classic Animal Man, and I found classic Animal Man to be a bit tedious and not really my thing to read. Last thing I wanted to share with you guys, last but not least, I hope that you've made it this far into the video, that you've seen all the books I've shared with you. Mike Clark, who wrote Patience of a Dead Man, was kind enough to send me a bookmark, and it's a custom bookmark made by A Stranger Dream, and her website is astrangerdream.com. She does horror illustrations, and she makes these bookmarks. I don't know exactly how much they are per bookmark. I know they're not cheap, and I'm kind of a skinflint. I'm a very thrifty person. I think these are pretty cool. I mean, if you guys want to check out her website, this is the main character from The Patience of a Dead Man. I mean, that's not what I thought the Mildred Wells looked like. My idea when I visioned her in my head, but hey, you know, it's one person's interpretation of what they thought the character looked like. Good stuff here, though. She does make some pretty fabulous bookmarks. I've seen a few, and yeah, I appreciate the fact that he thought of me to send me the bookmark. If you made it this far, thank you. I appreciate, you know, if you made it this far. I will have a general Amazon link down below. I might throw out the link for that lady, the bookmark lady. Go check out that Q&A video. I need some questions, like, to answer. I've only got majority of them are comic book related, and I want some regular book related questions. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for watching. I appreciate all the tons of new subscribers I've gotten lately. That's so fucking cool. Like, when I started this channel, it was a very slow uphill battle, because there weren't many guys doing this, talking about books. And I remember when I made my first book video where I talked about books, I don't think anyone at the time was making book videos. And now here we are, and there's just so many channels out there, so much competition. But that's all I got for you guys. Thank you for watching. Till next time, this has been Dan, and I will be gaming probably. Talk to you guys.